Welcome everybody. I thought I'd do a quick tutorial video that gives you a basic overview of editing a video in Shotcut, 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 for the league, because I've had quite a few people asking me how to do it. So what I'm going to show you is a very basic way to do it. This program can do a ton of powerful things. I'm not going to go into everything. I'm just going to show you the basics. So what I'm going to start with is an overview of the actual program itself. So when you install Shotcut, this is what it looks like. It looks very kind of bland at the moment. You can't really see anything. Now there's a couple of areas that you have to pay particular attention to. The first is this area here, which is what they call the preview screen. So whatever your project looks like or whatever you're working on, it'll appear here. So you can see there's a play, rewind, skip to the next, and so on, just to adjust it. The second area, which I'm just going to zoom up a bit, you see you can use this thing to move up and down, is this area here. And these are the various video tracks and audio tracks that you're going to be working with. I'm going to go into further detail about that shortly, but everything that you work with will appear down here, and you can look at it any time by previewing it up in this preview area. The final area that you need to pay attention to is this area over here, which is the things that you're queuing up and what you're doing. You can see there's no properties at the moment because I don't have anything opened. There's a playlist, so if you're going to work with multiple files, which I'm going to explain later, you would open them and then drag them into the playlist. There's various filters that you can apply. I'm also going to go into that. And finally, the export settings. It looks very kind of complicated compared to the rest, but is actually dead simple. You don't really need to touch any of that, and I'm going to finish the project by showing you that. Okay, so what we do to start with, people tend to send me an FLV file or a video. It doesn't matter which video file, I guess, as long as you can see this list of files here. I'm not going to go into them, but as long as it can be opened by Shotcut, it doesn't matter what they send me. They send me a start to finish video, which generally includes standard, modern, and legacy. And so what I do is I then cut it into all three formats. So what we're going to do today, we're going to look at a video I believe is Dylan Magic and Lorenzo Soma. This is a bit old. I'm kind of working on this anyway because I've got to catch it up. So what we want to do is open the file, and this is my video here. Actually, how do I bring that up? Just one moment. Window capture. Explorer, sorry. Okay, so what we're going to do, this is my file here. It's Dylan versus Lorenzo. So what we do, we just simply open it, double click or open, and you can see it appears in here. And so what we're looking at now, you can see the actual video playing. It's 1 hour and 5 minutes. It's ticking along in the preview bar. At this stage I'm doing nothing with it. It's just simply playing. I can click anywhere along this bar and it will play at different points. So what I want to do, this is the first important step. We want to work on this particular file. So this area down here is the working area. So all I do is I hold my mouse and I hold down left click and I drag and let it go. And so what we've done now is we've created, you can see here it says V1, this is video 1. Now if I was to go up here, I can add additional video and audio tracks, remove tracks, and so on. But you can see 1 hour and 4 minutes and 57 seconds. So what I'm trying to do here, I'm going to start working. You can see I can skip anywhere along here, and it will preview different points up here. So what I want to do, I'll remove that first, and you can see there's no video tracks being worked on now. This is V1, but we don't have it. So that's how you get a file and you drag it to work on it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to edit the video and I'm going to show you step by step how to do it. What I do, I have this saved, intro video that Chris Sandman made for the group. And so what we do, we open that first, and it will play up here. You can see it's about 5 seconds, so it tends to stream along quite quickly. So what we do, we're working on this, we drag this down to here, and we have our intro video. Now this has been fully edited, and so we don't need to do anything to it. You can see here this line going up and down. This implies that it has sound. It's the music that you hear when the video starts. Quite often people will send me videos with their own sounds in there, like they have crappy techno music and stuff going in the background. There is a way, if I go into, I'm going to show you this further later, but if I just go into properties, filters, I can apply a mute filter and it will block all that sound. So I don't use the sound that people provide me, and we put our own sound over it. So this is the first video track which we're working on. So what we want to do now, this is all that we have. So what I can do is I can click anywhere along here and click play, and it will preview. You can see this is the intro that most of you are probably familiar with if you watch the video, and it gets to the end. But we want to do more. So we open another file, which is our Dylan versus Lorenzo file. Again, it's up here in the preview. We're not working on it. So what I do is I take it and I drag it down to here. I add it to the existing video because we only have one video file going at the moment. And if I skip to the end, what's very important is along this timeline here that has a number, you can click anywhere. This white line that appears is what appears up the top. This white line is the point that you're working with. Now if I was to click back to here, you can see the intro, and it phases straight into the video that we want to see. So we've got our video. Now we're working only on standard. And so Dylan versus Lorenzo, what saves a lot of time here is knowing the result. So if I'm just going to quickly bring that up now. It was 2-1, so we're looking at 3 games here for Lorenzo. So what we do, first up, is try and find the point. This is kind of a guessing game. And so the first step, you can see how long this video file is. Very annoying if you want to find a particular point in there. What you can do is go to this bar here. You can make it even longer, or you can make it much, much shorter. So if I make it, say, that small, it trims it down. I can go even smaller, and it gets even smaller. It's up to you where you want to have this. I tend to work somewhere around there. So what I do is I'm familiar with the cards, so I can just keep clicking here until I recognize, because I know they played modern second. You can see these are all standard cards, so they're still in standard. Okay, this could be the point. So we have a point here. This is a lot of mucking around in their video. Okay, so we've got modern here, so we're back here somewhere. So this is the end of the match. See, you won the match. So what I want to do is I want to push S, which is also a cut. S is a shortcut for cut. You can also cut, but I just push S. And so you can see now it's created 2 video files. Now keep in mind that this is one video stream, so it will keep playing. So if I just push play, you can see it in the preview that it just keeps going. But I chose to cut it at that particular point. So now what we have, very important, the second important point, this red box. The red box, you can see the intro is a different one. You click on each one and it's different. The red box is what you're working on with regards to your filters and properties up the top. So what we want to do, this red box is our standard. Because we're doing standard, we don't want this particular box. This is modern and legacy. So we select this box, we right click, and we remove it. And suddenly it's gone. All we have now is our introduction with our standard match. So you can see here the match goes for 29 minutes, which is too long. So what we do, we want to go into properties up the top. You can see these lists here. We go into properties and we go to speed here. So very important, I'm going to keep saying this again and again and again because it's a mistake I made when I first started many times. Make sure the red box is around what you're working on. So the red box is around this particular file, and I want to speed this up to 2 times. So once I speed it up to 2 times, you can see the blue is over there. I just click away from there, and now you can see it's down to 14 minutes because I've sped it up 2 times, which is more manageable. Now we know this is best of 3, so we don't want to see all the rubbish in between. So I do the same as when I found the modern. I'm just going to click along until I can find that break. I mean, it sounds tedious, but it's actually not as hard to do as you would expect, because you can see a full board there. So this is obviously still the same game. This looks to be a very long game 1. I keep clicking along. So you can imagine if I don't know the result, it takes a bit longer because you've got to do this because there could potentially be 2 games or 3. Okay, so here's in between. So now I click back, and you just kind of click along slowly until you can find the point where it says something like game over. There, close game. So what I do, again, recall before the cut, I push S to cut. And now it's split. You can see if I move this white thing out the way, it's put the split down between the 2 videos again. So now what I want to do, because we don't want this stuff here, I just skip forward until I find the start of the next match, which is around here somewhere. And so I just kind of find a point. Yeah, this green "Do you want a mulligan" looks pretty good to cut it. So again, I push S for cut. Don't ask me why it's S for cut, I'm not sure. And you can see, again, I've cut the video file. So this part in the middle, if I can just preview again, is all the crap for sideboarding that we don't want to see. So again, important point, click on it to make sure it's red, so you're working with the red box. Right click, remove. So now we have the first game and the second game. Somewhere in here there's a third game. So we click, oh, this looks very short. What's going on here? Something's happened here. This match was very short for, oh okay, he's absolutely trashed. Okay, so this one was very short, so again we just click, okay, that's a good point to end. We push S to cut. And so if I move along, you can see it's created a separate one. And so I just click along, and there's a starting point, so I push S to cut again. So now I've cut and I've isolated this piece. Again, very important, make sure I select the correct red box, right click and remove. So now what we have, if I can make it super small, yeah, you can see, just try and find a size that's good. Okay, jammed in there, if you believe it or not, is a tiny little intro. Then we have game 1, game 2, and game 3. I've split all 3 into one. So if I just pick, say this, I'll just make this a bit bigger again. Like if I pick this transition point here, and I just play to preview to show you, I'll go back again. You can see that this is toward the end of the match, and it just straight away starts playing the third match. Now, the final thing that we have to do, because this is all one big video, is we want to add extra features, like the words and so on. So what we do, the way that this program works is you layer things on top of each other. So I'm not going to go and layer, say, a different video on top. So what I want to do is I want to add another video track, and I can add thousands of these if I want to. I can also add audio tracks. Say I wanted to have music running, a specific music running in the background, I'd right click, add an audio track. So you can see the audio track is there. I'm not going to use that, so I just right click and remove it. And what we see here is this video track 2 does not have anything here. We don't have anything. So I can actually click on this. I can't click around here, like I can't click on the green part because like down here I can click because there's a video box to click on. There's nothing to click on up here. So if I click here, I'm just selecting the point, but you can see the white thing. The white thing is the point that you see in the preview. It's only going to show you the video track 1 because there's nothing. So if I want to work on video track 2, I click here. And so what we want to do is we want to create our intro. So what I do is I generally set them for 6 seconds, 6 to 8 seconds. So I find the point, I've done this so many times, I know it's 6 seconds is where this ends and part 1 begins. And so what we do is we count to about, we slide it along until it gets to about 12, which is 6 seconds. Just have a look, there's nothing going on, so I'll make it a bit longer. I'll go to 14. Okay, that's our point that we want there. Now see, I can click away into different videos, but my preview point stays the same. I want to adjust this. So what I want to do is I want to put a cut because I'm interested in that first 6 seconds. Now, I can do 2 things. If I cut that out, you can see it removes it, so it slides everything back, but I don't want to do that. I want to keep this. I just clicked undo in case you missed that. What I want to do is I want to copy this. And I'm going to go to my second video track. I'll just move this out the way so it's clear. My second video track, and I'm going to paste it, which I believe is that shortcut. And so this here is in the wrong place. If I play this from, say, here, you watch the preview. And see, it goes back to the start. Because video track 2 is laid over the top of video track 1. Now watch when it ends. It goes back to how it was before. The problem here is that video track 2 is laid over the top of video track 1. So anything that you put on video track 2 is going to cover up video track 1. So what we want to do is this is a copy of this particular thing here. We want to slide this down here and plonk it right there. That's our first step. Now remember you click on the red box. Which box do I want to work at? I want to work on this because I want this to cover up this. I want video track 2 to cover up video track 1. So I click I want to apply a filter. Now, with filters, there's two buttons. I'm going to go back a step here. Properties, playlist, filters. My filters are set to my favorites. These are the ones that I always use. I don't use the other ones. You can see this little thing here. I don't know what it is, an asterisk. If I click this button, that means favorite. So this is set to favorites down here, show favorite filters. I can show all filters with this TV thing. If I click the TV thing, you can look at how many different things you can change. You can rotate the picture, mirror the picture, you can invert the picture, you can make it brighter, and so on. You can play around and spend hours playing around with this thing. These are the ones that I use again and again and again. So what I want to do here is I want to apply text over the top. So you can see I went to here originally and I found text is down here. You click this little button here on the side, it adds it to your favorites. So I want text, so I click text. It brings me up the text menu. And again, like Nathan Blewett's our kind of not technical, but artistic guy that likes to play around with fonts and so on. You can do that all in here. I've kind of just set mine and that's the end of it. See, I've got presets. So whatever you type in here, is going to appear. Why doesn't it appear up here? Because my preview is set. If I was to move this preview back down to here, you can see my words have now appeared and they appear over the top. Now that looks ugly, I don't want to use that. But you play around with it, you can see, actually I'll just show you this. If I did this, you can use this thing here to move them around and appear in a different spot. But I've already determined where mine goes, so once you like where you want it to go, you can kind of play around and then save the setting. So I've saved it as, you can see there's different fonts. Mine is called Game Intro. So this is Division 1, Week 5, Standard. This is just how I lay out each video. You can see I've put the preview here so that you can see. I just spaced down, it's Dylan Magica versus Lorenzo Soma. Okay, that's the first step that I want to do. So now if I was to click my preview and just show you what I've done, when the box starts, you can see the words start. And so the words stay for the 8 seconds that I set, and then once the 8 seconds is up, the words disappear. I just add another feature here, again reiterating for the 5th time, whatever box you're working on is what this up here applies to. So the text you can see is in here. If I click on this box, it doesn't have anything. I haven't done any alterations to this box. Now if I click this, I've done text. I want to add 2 more. One is fade in video, and I click this box, adjust opacity instead of fade with black, just for features, and also fade out, so that the picture will fade in. Now I'll play that again just to show you the difference. The words will kind of fade in like that. I'll skip ahead, and then they're going to fade out like that. And again, I'll just show you that one more time in comparison. There's the fade in. Now if I turn the fade in off by just ticking this box, and I'll show you the difference. Boom, it just appears. So that's just a matter of taste. I think it looks better fading in, fading out. So that's how we do that. So what I do now, that's for the start of game 1. It gives everybody this information. And so we skip just further down, scrolling along at the bottom until we find game 2, which is this break here. And what I do is I just find, it starts there, and I look at this time just to get the idea. So it's about 10:01. Just skip further forward to 10:01. Now you can see it's on the green. I want to be working on this one here, so I'm going to click on that one there, and I'm going to put an S to cut it. So I've isolated this 6-second box like before. I right click. I want to copy this, and I'm going to click on this here. Keep in mind I can't click here because there's no video to click on. You have to click on this thing here first. Now a little trick is wherever you set this bar, you watch when I paste this time. This is just to save time. It goes there. So you just make sure it's lined up perfectly. Because sometimes if I put the bar down there and I paste it, it'll paste it down here. So which box do I want to work on for text? I want to work on this one. I go to filters. I want to apply a text filter. Go to my preset, which is a game intro. I'm simply calling this one game 2. If I just go into preview this, that's what it looks like. I want to fade in the video and fade it out. So again, we can see that's the end of game 1. If I just preview, now we're into game 2. You can obviously put whatever words you want in there. And finally, I go along and I do that for game 3. I just click here, find the point, 10:56, so I go to 11:02. About there. Now it's on the green. I'm not working on the green, I'm working on this one. Put the S for cut. Again, I isolate, right click, copy, select the video track, and then paste. Shortcut is V, by the way. Move it to line it up. Just there. I want to go back to filters, apply a text filter, select my preset thing, game 3. I also want to add fade in and fade out of the video, and just to show you what I've done, it'll look like that. If I preview, that's the end of game 2, play, start of game 3. And that's essentially it. The only other thing you might want to do is, say I want to bang a picture in here, like a table or a graph or something like that. Where am I going to get the picture from? First, either we have 2 options. If we're working with a lot of files, we can load them all into this playlist when we start, and we can select it from here. Or we can just click open file. Say I want to use a scorpion picture. It's a PNG file. I got no idea how. I can't make PNGs. I don't know where this came from. But I open it, and now it's up here. It's not down here anywhere. Now I have 2 options. I can either put it in an existing video track, or I can put it into a new one. So say I want to put it into the existing video track, I simply just drag it down and I want it to go there. Okay, so now we have, you can see the split was made. So I click on this one. If I just put this to here, you can see because of the boundaries, it's taken over the entire picture, so we don't want that. So what we're going to do is we're going to undo. And now it's gone. Okay, so what we're going to do again is we want to add another video track. You can see because I'm on a laptop, so my screen is not as big as it could be if you had huge monitors. I'm going to add a third video track up here. And so we'll open that file again. And I'm going to bung it right here. So what this, you can see it skips around a bit. So if we play it again, now you can see it's overriding the other ones, but without taking up the whole picture. Now I can also apply the same filters here. I go to filters. I can fade in and fade out the video. The other thing that I like to do with pictures as well is I've got size and position. Like, remember from here you can scroll down to all these different things. I'm sure there's lots of things you can do to the picture there. This one is size and position. Now I can't see the picture. Why is that? Because my preview line is not where the picture is. So I move it to where the picture is. There's the picture. So for some reason it's just defaulted to there. So I'm just going to move them around. I can put them in there, for example. And you can see the time of this. You can actually grab these edges and drag this to be longer. You can see it's 6 seconds, but I'm going to add 3 seconds to it. And so now we have 3 video tracks, and I'm just going to play that to show you what it looks like. And he fades in. You can see, look at my preview, he's going to stay the whole time that box is there. And he's going to phase out. And that is it. Now, of course, we don't want this for the actual video, so I'm just going to right click and remove this track and keep the 2. So we're finished now. What do we do? This is our finished video product that we're going to apply commentary to. I actually apply commentary by playing this as a VLC file through OBS and commentating the VLC file. So we have to save this. So we have to export this to something. So I click export. I leave this all as it is. I'm happy to export it as an MP4. You know, there's a million different ones you can export it as. The resolutions and so on you can play around with. Once I'm happy with that, I click this export file button. Now, videos to commentate will be Dylan versus Lorenzo standard. And it's 15 minutes. I just put a 15 just so when I have these queued up, I can know, you know, if I've got 15 minutes spare, I can do this one. Save. And you can see in here it started. So this is actually it's 13 and a half minutes. This will take about 8 minutes to do. And it will click to the end. And that is how you edit a video. If anybody has any questions, feel free to hit me up and hopefully I can answer them for you. Thanks for watching.